Department is Station 1. Today I'm going to be giving you all Engine 1 tour. In the back right here, we have our firefighter seats. We got 3 seats. This truck is capable of holding 5 people. We got 3 air packs back here, 1 lieutenant seat in the passenger side, and the engineer pack is on the other side. This is where we keep all of our EMS equipment. Have an ALS bag, a medical bag. Firefighter Quentin, he keeps his bunker gear back here in case we get fire. He's able to get dressed on the way. Got our monitor and tools in here that we'll use on a fire. Moving on to this first compartment. Three main hoses we fight fire with. These are big boosters of smooth bore and combat line. Got 150 foot of engine 3/4 smooth bore. Same thing, combat line, 150 foot, engine 3/4 smooth bore. Just nozzles on the other side so we can deploy from both sides. 200 foot, 2-inch fog nozzle. You can tell the difference between the 2 nozzles. Smooth bores for a lot of water, for a lot of fire. Fog nozzle we use for anything. Very versatile tool. Here we have our tools for pulling and sealing. Our wrecking ball. I'll pull this out and show it to you. Wrecking ball. This is for pulling and sealing and having to smash in walls or whatever we're having to do that requires a heavy work. Got a hook right here at the end to scrape, pull trash if we need to, or anything of the sort. Moving on to the next compartment. This is our engineer compartment. Whenever we're on a fire, this is what we use to get water to the hoses. Each of these goes to a different hose or a different different connection up front. Up here we have our bumper line. All 3 cross lays are right here, and then these 2 will be on the back. Got different tools in here for different scenarios, reducers and just different connections. Over here we got our hydrant connections. Say if we have to go to Fort Worth, we're able to get different connections to connect to their hydrants. Our engineer, the one who drives the truck, they put their gear in here just so it's out of the cab and it's easy access for them to the department. Spare air bottles in both these compartments. Little basic compartment, got some traffic cones from when we're on the highway. Got to put these out to keep people from hitting us. This is our Pro Pack. This has foam that helps us smother fire and where we're overhauling and trying to put out the embers. And this is our ice chest because you got to stay hydrated when we're on the fire scene. In here, we got some canvas tarps to cover furniture inside the house while we're pulling, sealing everything, salvage as much as we can and save as much property as we can. In here, we got a rope bag for large area searches. That's going to be our wider buildings like churches and the chapel. We have big open spaces. Throw bags, these are for your swift water operations. Say if someone's stuck in a river, we can throw these across the bank and they can grab the rope. This right here is a pretty important tool. This is a RIT pack. If a firefighter goes down in a fire, the RIT team is required to take this pack inside and connect that injured firefighter to air and it's their job to get them out. Got a water can. That's just a water fire extinguisher. Then here's a CO2 fire extinguisher, and that's an ABC fire extinguisher. Just different tools in here that we're able to use on scene or whatever the situation may be. Regular drills if we got to fix a door or a fence, and just more tools right there. Back here we got more pulling tools. Right here are our New York hooks. These are just strictly for pulling, sealing and whatnot. Let's see if I can get that out for you. Different lengths of these. It's gonna be our 8-foot one. Pretty sharp. Goes through the ceilings pretty easy whenever we got to pull out the insulation. Up there also is an 8-foot attic ladder. That allows us to take a ladder inside the house if need be to crawl up into small spaces. And here's our bigger ladders. Got a 24-foot extension ladder and a 14-foot roof ladder. Right here we got our smaller hose. This will be our 1-inch line, red line. We use this mainly for grass fires or any kind of trash pile fire or anything small, so we don't have to pull off the big hoses. 1,000 foot of 5-inch LDH. This is our hose that we connect to the fire hydrant. A lot of it is fun to load back and fun to pull off. You got 3-inch, 200 feet is our master stream. If Walmart catches on fire and the whole thing's on fire, we can set one of these up as a ground monitor to either protect other buildings or just to auscultate and spray water everywhere. A lot of water comes out of this right here. Moving on to the next side of the truck. Got some cutting tools here. This is a chainsaw. We'll use these on roof ventilation. Say if we gotta get on top of a roof and cut a hole in it, this is what we'll use. We got a garage fire and the garage door still up. We'll use our K12. I'll move this can out so you can see it. This is mainly for cutting metal if need be. But I've used one of these to cut garage doors open. It's a pretty handy tool. We got your basic lights right here, just for scene lights. It gets dark on us. Got a fan. We use these fans on fires to put in front of the door and have an opening on the other side to push all the bad smoke and gases out that make it for us able to breathe. We got just a little generator for the lights, and then have another scene light right here. This one's a little more portable. You take it inside if you need to, or wherever that this can't go. Here's that engineer pack I was telling you about right there. He'll use that if he needs to go in, or we're second on and gets the pots of fire. Up here we got our irons. We'll use this for forcible entry. Bolt cutters. Got some bolts. These are our step cribbing and cribbing. These are what we use on extrications or whenever we need to stabilize a vehicle that's on its side or whatever the situation needs them for. Simple tools, crowbar. This is a manual override lever for our discharge, and we got a water key. And this is just a little trash hook, another tool in our toolbox. Right here, that's the fire marshal of Burleson. Got 3 more spare bottles. This is our extrication compartment, or just on wrecks in general. I'll start with this top shelf right here. Got a leaf blower to blow debris and glass off the roadway if we need to. This is called a rhino. We use this if we need to cut a windshield off. You put that in a little hole. Acts just like scissors for a windshield. Pretty handy tool. TVS 100s. These are for stabilizing vehicles if they're on their side and it's wobbly. We'll use these, stick them in the side and brace it. Forcible entry bag. This has got all kinds of tools to help us get into houses if we need to, with doing as little damage as possible. These right here, these are the big tools. These are the extrication tools. We use these if we need to forcibly extricate somebody out of a vehicle that's heavily damaged. These are our spreaders. These are the cutters. And this is the ram. Ram spreads, cutters cut. And these right here, the spreaders spread also. You can do these for anything. They're pretty handy on a wreck. You can find all sorts of uses for each of them. Not one thing is set specifically for the other. Got a shovel and just another little hook, brooms. In here we got hoses for our airbags, which are down here. If we need to lift a car off of somebody, we use this right here. This is the smallest airbag. It's the easiest one to get out right now. These are able to lift cars up and very heavy things off people, and we use the airbag controller. Basic tools, a lot of these are basic tools you'll see at Home Depot or something. Just have different uses for them. and something that the average man probably won't. On this other side, like I said, same thing as the hoses, with the smooth bores down there, same hook right here. And here we have a short shot. This is just a short connection that if there's a hydrant close by, we don't have to pull the 5-inch off the very back of the truck. We can pull this right here and hook up straight to the hydrant. Pretty easy to use. And just on the same side, this is Q-seat, EMS equipment, same thing. I'll show you the front. This is our bumper line. If we go on the highway and have a vehicle fire, we pull this line right here. We have a Halligan bar in here in case we need to get somebody's door open or get a hood up. But this is 100 foot of 1 3/4 with the fog nozzle. That's engine 1 over here at Burleson Fire Station 1. I'm glad you could join us and take a quick tour with us.
Cade Watson, Burleson Fire Department. I'm an engineer here. Been with the department for about 6 years, total of about 14 years in the fire service altogether. I've been engineer here for the last 3. My normal assignment is driving this truck 16. It's a 2018 model Spartan Quint. It functions, it's got a pump on it, 500 gallons of water for use on car fires, structure fires, just about any type of fire. It's also, we have paramedics on our crew, so we also run all EMS calls. We're ALS capable. And then of course we have the aerial ladder on top if we need that. So currently this truck responds to every type of call basically on the east side of the city. All highway accidents on 35 along with our blocker truck over here. The white truck on the other side is blocker 16, runs with us on calls on the highway. We have our brush truck here for grass fires and harder to access places, driveways that this larger truck can't get down. Of course, it's called the Legend after Dawson Barnes. That was his nickname, and so in honor of him, we've also named the truck after him, as well as the 16, the number 16 on it, and the graphic on the rear of the truck is in honor of him. Open up the doors, you can kind of look inside. I can control all the lights, pump shifting, aerial controls in there. And then also in the cab, we have our EMS compartment on the side of the cab, so as the guys get out, we can grab EMS bags. We have our medical and trauma bags on this side and have our Zoll monitor on the other, as well as a separate bag for cardiac arrest. Firefighters right back here. It's got position for 3 firefighters back here. The SCBAs are built in the seat. We have the guys have tools mounted right in front of them so they can come off the truck dressed, ready to work, no matter what type of call it is. The pump panel back here, this is my office. This is where I control all the water that comes in and out of the truck. The large intake right here for hooking up to a hydrant with this 5-inch hose right here. We also carry 800 feet of 5-inch on the back in the rear compartment to lay into a hydrant. All these valves and levers right here control the different discharges on the truck, as well as the cross lays, which are behind this tarp right here. We have 3 different hose lines on here. We also have some high-rise packs in the compartments that we can kind of make up our own hose loads as needed. There's also a hose reel up top for smaller fires. Engineer's compartment here carries a bunch more tools, stuff kind of for the driver. The driver can carry his gear. Some different fittings and adapters in the toolbox for hooking up to hydrants. Some a hose roller, hydrant wrench, some forcible entry tools in here. A bunch of hand tools here for forcible entry, some squeegees for cleaning up as we need to. This truck overall is a giant toolbox on wheels for us, carries everything we need for any type of call we may go on. Spare air cylinders in here for our SCBAs, some of those on each side. Also the driver's air pack stays in here, so typically because I'm pumping the truck on a fire, I'm not usually one of the first people to go in, but I still have an air pack in my gear in case at some point during the fire I do need to go in. So that's carried in there. Have some rope rescue equipment. These are Swiftwater throw bags right here. Some larger ropes for actual high angle rescue, as well as all the rope hardware, some kind of hard hats for high angle stuff like that. Because we can use, since this is a ladder truck, we can use the ladder to some degree, but there is sometimes things that are higher than that. There was actually several years ago here in Burleson, they had to rescue a gentleman off of a 700-foot tall tower, and the only way to get to him was to actually climb up there and get him. He suffered a heat-related illness up there, and they had to climb up and get him. This compartment is our high-res pack, so if we need to extend a hose line to get somewhere out of the reach of the truck, the hoses that stay on it are 200 feet long, but if it's out of the reach of that, we can extend hose lines with this. And then down here, this is our RIP pack and pack tracker. These for if a firefighter goes down, and this is to help locate them by their air pack, and then this is to give them additional air if they need it when they get to them, if they've suffered a mask failure, if they've run out of air. Some more hand tools in here, different axes, forcible entry type tools. And this compartment is for kind of our for traffic accidents. It's brooms and shovels, some oil dry for cleaning up. On accident scenes, a lot of times you have spilled fluids, so just some regular oil dry in there, because that's part of our job. Is the best way to prevent another accident from happening is to get the roadway opened up and get traffic flowing normally as quickly as possible. We have a bunch of collapsible road cones in there, so we can shut down lanes and roads as needed. They're all collapsible. The blocker unit over there carries a lot more cones. This rear compartment, this is what I was telling you, the 800 feet of 5-inch, the additional supply line, as well as a bunch of ladders. So we have 14 and 16-foot roof ladders, and then also a 24 and 35-foot extension ladder, and then a bunch of different trash hooks, New York hook. These are used for pulling ceiling on like on a house fire. If there's fire into the attic, you can pull ceiling down and get to it from below. Back here, these are all the outrigger controls for the aerial, for setting the jacks out. This truck as it sits right now is only about 9 feet wide, but with the jacks fully deployed, it gives it about a 16-foot footprint. So it makes it a lot more stable. You can turn the aerial out to the side. These are our airbags, the hoses, and a controller for the airbags. This is for if we needed to, say, lift a vehicle off of somebody, or even something up to as heavy as a rail car. These bags are capable of lifting that. And sometimes, you know, for like an example, a person trapped under a car, you don't normally need that much lift. You just need to get the weight of the vehicle off of them. You don't have to raise it very far to do a lot of good there. And we have more tools. This is more getting to your like vehicle extrication. You have an air hammer, some different chains and fittings to go on the spreaders. This is actually a glass saw, glass cutter right here. This will cut through a windshield like butter. Then the next compartment, here's the decal I was talking about, the the legend in honor of Dawson Barnes. And this is new to the truck. We just added this decal and unveiled it for the first time just this past Saturday at the grand opening of the station. This is, I'm sure everyone's heard of the Jaws of Life. These tools all together is what basically makes up the Jaws of Life. Your spreader, cutter, ram, and the power plant that runs them, as well as the hoses. So they're hydraulic powered tools, 10,500 PSI, and we can take a car apart in minutes with these. Generally we have one firefighter on the cutters and one on the spreaders, and them working together can even take apart the most mangled car in just a few minutes, get the people out. In extrication, it's really not as much removing the person from the vehicle as removing the vehicle from around the person. We try to keep them as still as possible so we don't aggravate any injuries they may have. We just more or less take the car apart from around them so we can get them out without having to move them too much. This compartment carries a lot of wood cribbing that we can use to stabilize the vehicle as well. I'll move this out of the way so you can see it. These green struts back here we can also use to stabilize a vehicle that's up on its side or possibly upside down. And then this tool that I have in my hand right here, this is actually forcible entry, but more for on the side of like opening doors on a house or business. It actually spreads the door jamb apart. And we have a forcible entry bag here with tools to get into places, as well as some tools for unlocking locked vehicles for like if a child was stuck inside. Have more tools in here, more air bottles, and also carry a Sawzall. It can be used a lot with vehicle extrication, cutting off roof or sheet metal parts like that pretty quickly. Carry a couple fire extinguishers in here, a regular water can and then a dry chemical extinguisher. So we're covered on, depending on what type of fire it is, we always have the proper extinguisher for it. So this compartment, we carry a few different things. We actually carry ballistic helmets and body armor on the truck. Unfortunately, in this day and time, people, there is, a reason to have this. Violent people with guns. And unfortunately, when they shoot people, we have to go in and help the injured. So we have the body armor and ballistic helmets so we don't become a victim ourselves. So we carry enough body armor and helmets for every person on the truck. Up top, we have some cleanup stuff, buckets, tarps. So one of the big things on a fire is not just putting out the fire, but we don't want to leave people a huge mess when we leave the scene. So we try to secure whatever we can. If we can tarp some of their property, maybe some of their furniture to protect it, from water, from smoke, we do that. We have the buckets for cleaning up debris, maybe ceiling that we've had to pull down, roof kit to actually nail tarps to cover up holes in the roof. So that's real important. Kind of one of the things that we do is to leave things in as good a shape as we can given the situation when we leave. We don't want to leave somebody a mess. They've already had a fire. They've already had a bad enough situation. We don't want to make it worse. And then this compartment, we carry all our saws and vent fans. So we carry a chainsaw for venting like a regular residential roof, cutting a large hole in the roof, a shingle type roof with wood decking underneath it. The K12 or rescue saw, this one is capable of cutting metal or concrete. So we get up on a roof like of a big commercial building, or even if we have to cut through concrete or a large metal structure, we can cut it with this saw. We carry a bunch of different lights up there because invariably the worst calls don't happen when the weather's great and it's bright and sunny outside. It always happens when it's dark, cold, raining, or any combination of those. So we have to be prepared to work efficiently in all weather conditions. This truck has lights all over it, but in case we have to take the lights somewhere else out of the reach of the truck. We have lights, and this truck actually also has an onboard generator on it to power everything, so we don't have to rely on whatever power is at the scene. We can bring our own. A couple different types of vent fans here used to get smoke out of a house. We can actually pressure up and push fresh air into the house, and that pushes the smoke out. Makes it a lot easier for our firefighters to actually find the fire and get to it to put it out. It also greatly improves the chances of survival for any victim that may be in there if we can get some fresh air to them versus all the heat and smoke. Typically we use these fans in conjunction with venting, either through venting the roof with one of those saws, or sometimes venting can be as simple as opening a door or window on the opposite side of the house and just get it flowing through. But it's real important to be able to coordinate that, because when you push all this fresh air into a house, you also intensify the fire. So your guys with the hose line need to be ready and have a handle on the fire, very quickly able to get a handle on the fire, so we don't actually make the situation worse. Then in here we have a bunch of different, we have a large cord reel for the generator, like I said, taking that power with us, big electrical cord, and then this carries all the different fittings for different electrical plugs. There are your regular household 15 amp cords all the way up to your 30 and 50 amp cords. Then this is the opposite side of the pump panel. Again, you can hook up to a hydrant there. Another engine can hook up and feed water through the aerial device. We'll walk around the front of the truck here in a minute, I'll show you that. And then we can also pump water, lots of water, to another truck using this right here. Have a ground monitor, or blitz fire as it's called, for larger fires. And then I'll show you on the front real quick. The ladder on this truck is 103 feet vertical reach, so it can get a ways on up there, and this nozzle tip up on the front, we can control it remotely. There's actually up on it, on the side of it, that white box right there, a person can be up on the tip and control it from that, or I can also control it from the turntable if we don't have a person up here. This can flow about, as it's set up right now, can flow up about 1,250 gallons of water per minute. So if everything was good, we were on a hydrant, we can put a lot of water on a fire very quickly. And we also carry a 100-foot trash line on the front bumper for car fires and things like that. It's simple. A lot of times on a car fire, you pull up behind them because you're also trying to block traffic at the same time, keep traffic off of you, so you just pull 100 feet straight off and be able to put out a car fire pretty quickly. So that's basically, that's everything in a nutshell that's on truck 16. And it's truly an all-purpose truck for us. It's a giant toolbox that carries everything we need to do our job on a daily basis. It's a good piece of equipment for us. There's a lot of equipment on it to know and take care of, but it really is our lifeline. So we do our best to keep it all in tip-top shape and in service to help us help the citizens of Burleson. All right. So the downstairs area, this is there's a workout room down here, and then so it's got a big bay door on it. We can open up when the weather's nice, or get some good breeze through here. It's also got a fan in it. And down here is the EOC, Emergency Operations Center. We won't go all the way in there because I think they're having a meeting. But it can also, the cool thing about the EOC is It can also be used as a training room. So now, actually, it looks like they're gone for the day. We can go in here. So this can also be used as a training room as well. The main significance of this, like I said, is the EOC. If there was like a big tornado or something like that in the city, some large-scale incident, command would most likely be run out of here. All these TVs back here are smart boards, so they can pull up camera feeds of the actual incident. They can video conference with, the governor's office, whoever they need to down in Austin or on a larger scale. And we also set this room up for training. Just last week or the week before, they conducted new hire interviews in here. So there's kind of a lot that can be done with this room. That's another little meeting room over there that we can use. And also that's the emergency management coordinator's office right there. So that's most of the downstairs. All of our living area is all upstairs. There's 2 stairwells going up to the front. This is actually the front lobby right here. This stairwell leads up to our living quarters. It's set up to house 10 firefighters. We currently have 4 on shift at any given time, but with MedStar here, that makes a crew of 6 here. And by the end of the year, we're hiring much more people, so we'll have 8 people up here at any time. This is the report room. We can do all our EMS reporting and stuff like that. Then the lieutenant's office right here, it's an office and also bedroom, bathroom. The rooms on the left are all bunk rooms. So there's 3 on this side, 3 on the opposite side. This is the driver's bedroom right here. And then this is our kitchen and living area. So I was telling you earlier about Dawson Barnes and kind of the history behind the legend and the 16 names. So we also have the logo on the table as well. The table was actually built by several of the guys up here, myself and the normal lieutenant, Donnie Hallmark. We built the metal part of it down below. It's actually, so you can see it. It's actually an old roof ladder that we cut down and made the centerpiece of the table out of. And then we had the top is made out of a solid piece of ash wood, same type of wood they make baseball bats out of. And I think just about everybody here had a hand in working with that table as far as polishing it up and oiling the wood, putting wax on it to bring the grain out and everything. And then we had the glass top and the decal put on it to protect it. Back down this way, so it's on the TVs here, this is the map of the city. Shows where all the units are already. So we're truck 16, we're in the station. So anytime, like all these police badges here, those represent police calls. You'll see occasionally a flame icon pop up on there. That's the actual fire call for us. There's not any up there right now. Everyone has cleared up all the calls they're on, but kind of gives you a general idea where the call is and where your other units in the city are. So where you're at earlier, Engine 1, the engine squad and battalion chief are over there. Engine 3's way down here. And then we're covering the east side of the city. So then down this hallway, more bunk rooms, bathrooms on this side, bunk rooms on the right. And then there's a couple more in a laundry room on the end. And there's also out here, there's also 2 poles. One on this side, and there's actually one on the opposite stairwell. So it's actually really important that we keep these polished up so we can slide down them. As otherwise they, if they're not polished up, they kind of squeak as you go down, and it's kind of rough on the hands, and also not as quick as you should be. The main reason for the poles, it actually is a functional thing. It's a lot quicker to slide the pole than it is to take the stairs, and we have to be from those guys are cooking dinner right now. If the tones go off, we have to be in the truck and out the door in a minute or less. So it's one of those things we kind of have to take. We have to be quick about it. So, I'll slide down, or actually we'll go to the other one and slide down. There's a stairwell up the right there next to it. This one you kind of have to go around for. Hold on. It'll slip still.